trillion naira by the end of December 2018.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offense.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Imo State Governor, Imo State.
Welcome to Newsdesk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James. Many thanks for joining us. Quickly a look at the news making the rounds for today. Reps introduce bill to regulate federal government social investment programs. Ethiopia's Tigray crisis, fears of ethnic profiling stoke conflict. On U.S. election 2020, Biden says White House cooperation sincere. Buhari inaugurates 5,000 barrel per day refinery in Imo. Minister orders overhaul of Super Eagles. Do well to stay with us as we bring you this news in details after this timeout. Welcome back, and now the details of the news. Reps introduced bill to regulate federal government social investment programs. The House of Representatives made good its promise to regulate the social welfare and intervention programs with a bill already listed for second reading. The proposal is titled A Bill for an Act to Establish National Social Investment Trust Fund to alleviate poverty among vulnerable Nigerian citizens through targeted programs for the aged, infirmed, unemployed and students, and for related matters. The National Social Investment Programs are currently domiciled with the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development. In his opening address, Speaker of the House Femi Gbajabiamila said their work on other legislative agenda priorities such as the Petroleum Industry Bill and the institutionalization of the National Social Investment Programs will continue at pace. The bill was sponsored by the 33-year-old lawmaker representing Darazo Ganjubo Federal Constituency in Bauchi State. The Speaker, Femi Gbajabiamila, had earlier in May 2020 said the Parliament would soon introduce a bill that would define who is a poor Nigerian to benefit from the federal government's NSIPs. He said that the move is to legalize the NSIPs and codify the programs. And now moving forward, community policing, 548 females graduate. No fewer than 548 females are among the 8,690 special constables that will be deployed for community policing by the commissioners of police in the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. The force spokesman Frank Umba said the CPs were at liberty to post the operatives trained at 15 police colleges across the country to areas of need in their communities. He further said that the states were also free to recruit more constables who would be trained at their state government expense by the police, adding that the state could engage as many constables as it desired depending on the security challenge it was facing. Umba stated that the CPs will deploy the constables to their local government, their communities that would function at their place of residence. So if peradventure they are from Udi local government in Enugu State but live in Udenu, they would function at Udenu where they live and not Udi where they hail from. And now moving to another news story, Rivers Summit, South-South governors leaders demand restructuring. Governors and leaders of the South-South geopolitical zone have demanded restructuring of the country in line with the principle of true federalism, saying it will guarantee peace, security and stability in the country. The South-South leaders decried the present arrangement where other zones depend on the resources of the Niger Delta. They said such an arrangement could not engender the development. They observed that Nigeria was not at peace with itself and not working as it should, particularly for the people of the South-South. The chairman of the South-South Governors Forum and governor of Delta State, Senator ENQUIRY, made the positions of the zone known during the regional stakeholders meeting with presidential delegation led by the Chief of Staff to the President, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, at the Government House, Port Harcourt. The media aide to Rivers State Governor Kelvin Ibiwi, in a statement on the outcome of the Port Harcourt meeting, quoted Okowa as saying that the people of the zone were committed to restructuring of Nigeria in a way that will guarantee true federalism and devolution of powers to the states. He said states would be able to create and manage their own police and security architecture under a federal structure. He called for true federalism guided by the principle of derivation, revenue sharing and control of resources by each state of the federation, as it was the case in the First Republic. And now looking at stories coming from around Africa, Ethiopia's Tigray crisis, fears of ethnic profiling stoke conflict. And some Tigrayans in Ethiopia have described that they have been harassed, detained or discriminated against since fighting began in their home region on 4th November 2020. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has emphasized that the conflict in the northern Tigray region is against a criminal clique within the dominant party there, the Tigray People's Liberation Front, but reports from elsewhere in the country suggest there is an ethnic dimension to the crisis. Tigrayans make up around 6% of the Ethiopia's more than 110 million people, and many live outside their regional states. The government has, however, denied that there has been ethnic profiling and said any action carried out against individuals was for justified security reasons. Some in the security forces said they have been disarmed and ordered to stay at home. And still from around Africa, Morocco has been restrained in Western Sahara. There has been tension recently in Western Sahara following military maneuvers in the former demilitarized zone of Gujarat. The Polisario Front, which wants independence, says that a 29-year-long ceasefire agreement was broken when Moroccan forces deployed troops and tanks to the UN-patrolled border zone in the disputed territory. Polisario said the Moroccan operation was a premeditated attempt to prevent the latest efforts by the UN to discuss their demands. The Sahrawi people, many of whom live in refugee camps in Tindouf in Algeria as well as within Morocco, have long called for a referendum on self-determination. Lofty Bouchara, Morocco's ambassador to Moscow, talked on Africa program that Morocco did not breach the ceasefire, but its military was responding to a provocation by Polisario fighters who blocked a key road to Mauritania. Right now, we're taking a break, and when we return, we shall be looking at updates from the United States of America. Do well to stay with us.
For the next expectations of a creator waited for the manifestations of the sons of God.
Papa, great and mighty miracles. He has been mad for 30 years, but as soon as you get the word, the banner disappear and the voice cease on the spot.
Though the sorrow may last for the night, joy comes in the morning. Joy in the sorrow.
International Amazing Grace 2020. Apostle Johnson and Dr. Lizzie Suleiman.
I saw myself in the realm of the spirit. I'm in Kogi State. I see myself in a particular road, like police estate, Day junction. I'm seeing a roundabout, and I'm seeing your house. I'm seeing your house. Is that where you stay?
2nd through 4th December 2020 by 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. daily. Live at the International Worship Center, Omega Fire Ministries, Kilometer 132, Benino Kene Abuja Expressway, Auchi, Edo State, Nigeria. For inquiry, please call. Manifestation of the Sons of God. Your time to manifest.
Welcome back. And on U.S. election 2020 update, Biden says White House cooperation sincere. U.S. President-elect Joe Biden has said outreach from the White House over the transition has been sincere. It has not been begrudging so far. I didn't expect it to be, he spoke as he unveiled his choice of top officials for when he takes over from Donald Trump in January. Mr. Trump finally agreed to allow the formal transition process to begin on Monday, nearly 3 weeks after the presidential election. Yet he still refuses to admit defeat, repeating unsubstantiated claims that the 3rd November 2020 vote was rigged. Looking at more updates this time around from Europe, coronavirus, French lockdown to ease after second peak passes. France will begin to ease its strict coronavirus restrictions this weekend, allowing non-essential shops to reopen, President Emmanuel Macron has said. Mr. Macron announced that people will also be able to share moments with the family over Christmas period, but he said bars and restaurants would have to remain closed until 20th January. France has reported more than 2.2 million cases and more than 50,000 confirmed coronavirus-related deaths since the start of the pandemic. Mr. Macron also added that the country had passed the peak of the second wave of the virus infections. He said that the bulk of lockdown restrictions would be eased from 15 December for the festive period, with cinemas reopening and general traveling restrictions lifted, as long as new infections were at 5,000 a day or less. France reported 4,452 daily COVID-19 infections, its lowest tally since 28 September. The latest 7-day rolling average for new infections in France is reported to be 21,918. That figure peaked at 54,440 on 7th November. Now moving to business news. Buhari inaugurates 5,000 barrels per day refinery in Imo. The President of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, had said the realization of the refinery roadmap that was rolled out 2 years ago will enable Nigeria to export petroleum products to neighboring countries and other markets. Buhari said these are the inauguration of the 5,000 barrels per day Walter Smith Modular Refinery and a groundbreaking for a 45,000 barrel per day plant in Imo State. He commended Walter Smith Group, an indigenous oil firm, and the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board for the collaboration that led to the construction of the refinery. He directed the Ministry of Petroleum Resources, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, the Department of Petroleum Resources, and all other relevant government agencies to provide all the necessary support to the refinery with regards to access to crude oil and condensate feedstock. Buhari said they rolled out their refining roadmap in 2018 to address challenges in the downstream sector after many years of government giving out modular refining licenses without any coming on steam. They are today seeing a commissioning within 2 years. The plan to commence the expansion of this refinery to 50,000 barrels per day capacity to refine crude oil and condensate is a demonstration of the economic reform Nigeria is undergoing. According to the president, the refinery roadmap includes the rehabilitation of the existing refineries, collocation of new refineries, and construction of greenfield plants. Now, still on business, WTO boss coast clear for Okonjo-Iweala as South Korea withdraws candidate. South Korea has decided to withdraw its candidate from the World Trade Organization WTO Director General race, according to Washington Trade Daily. Yoon Moon-hee is South Korea's trade minister and its candidate for the top job at the WTO following the resignation of Roberto Azevedo. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, Nigeria's candidate in the WTO race, had secured the popular vote by a wide margin on October 28, but was not named DG because the U.S. opposed her candidacy. The two women are the last candidates standing, and the eventual winner will set a record as being the first female WTO DG. However, there are speculations that the U.S. might change its stance following Donald Trump's failure to get re-elected as president. After the October 28 meeting, WTO also said Okonjo-Iweala had the best chance of getting a consensus. Coming up right after this break is news from the world of sports. Stay with us.
For the next expectations of a creator waited for the manifestation of the sons of God.
Papa, great and mighty miracles. He has been mad for 30 years. Papa, as soon as you get the word, there's madness disappear and the voice cease on the spot.
Though the sorrow may last for the night, joy comes in the morning. Joy in the soul.
International Amazing Grace 2020. Apostle Johnson and Dr. Lizzie Suleiman.
I saw myself in the realm of the spirit. I'm in Kogi State. I see myself in a particular road, like police estate, Day junction. I'm seeing a roundabout, and I'm seeing your house. I'm seeing your house. Is that where you stay?
2nd through 4th December 2020 by 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. daily. Live at the International Worship Center, Mega Fire Ministries, Kilometer 132, Benino Kene Abuja Expressway, Auchi, Edo State, Nigeria. For inquiry, please call manifestation of the sons of God. Your time to manifest.
Welcome back. And now from the world of sports, Minister orders overhaul of Super Eagles. Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Sunday Dare, has called for an overhaul of the Super Eagles' technical and administrative structure to achieve better results. The minister gave the order in Abuja at a meeting with the Nigerian Football Federation officials to review the technical report of the Nigeria-Sierra Leone AFCON qualifiers and other matters. Mr. John Joshua Akanji, special advisor to the minister, disclosed this in a statement. The minister stressed that the need to adhere strictly to the terms of contact of Super Eagles coach Janet Rowe, especially on performance and development of the game. The recent dismal performance of the Super Eagles in their qualifiers against Sierra Leone has raised a few concerns and brought to fore the need to do a quick critique. The government, while concerned about the dismal performance and non-discernible pattern of play and team harmony in the Super Eagles, is looking beyond the outcome of Nigeria versus Sierra Leone matches and AFCON. And now in another development, Nigerian athletes may miss Tokyo 2020. Nigerian athletes risk missing out on featuring at the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games after the country was listed among 8 others with the highest doping risk. They may also not be allowed to take part in major games and championships in 2021 unless they undergo at least 3 out of 4 competition doping tests before the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. According to the Athletics Integrity Unit, the Athletics Federation of Nigeria has failed to comply with Rule 15 obligations of the AIU and have been moved to Category A from B. Nigerian athletes last underwent doping tests at the 2019 AFN All-Commerce Meet in Ijebu-Ode. Rule 15 of the AIU states that effective anti-doping programs in their respective jurisdictions must be carried out quarterly to ensure the strong, compliant anti-doping programs are being applied and enforced consistently and effectively so that clean athletes can have confidence that there is a fair competition on a level playing field and the public confidence in the integrity of athletics can be maintained. Morocco, Kenya, Russia, Albania, Belarus and Serbia are other countries listed by the AIU with the highest doping risk. AFN Technical Director Sunday Adeleye told our correspondent that the Sport Ministry has hampered the Federation from making the right moves to ensure their athletes are clean. And that's the size of the news for today from Newsdesk on Celebration TV. But in case you missed out, here is a recap of the news making the rounds. Reps introduce bill to regulate federal government social investment programs. Ethiopia's Tigray crisis, fears of ethnic profiling stoke conflict. On U.S. election 2020, Biden says White House cooperation sincere. Buhari inaugurates 5,000 barrels per day refinery in Imo. Minister orders overhaul of Super Eagles. And now to the photo of the day. Growing and working together brings about success and kills strife. So these days, why do people Or why do we find people rather who want to grow alone? Anyway, we want you to hit us back with your response. We want to know what your thoughts are. Give us your possible answers. Reach us via our social media handles on Facebook, Celebration TV, on Instagram, My Celebration TV, on Twitter, @My Celebration TV, and on YouTube, Celebration TV. We will always say that the continuous transformation of our society is a collective responsibility of all, no matter the office you hold. As a nation's president, a thought leader, an opinion molder, a character builder, a professional, or as a person pursuing passion, you have a duty to give your all to making the society a better place for us and the generations to come. So play your part and do it with all diligence. I am Comfort James, and it is many thanks for watching.
To 15.7 trillion naira by the end of December 2019.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offense.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor, Imo State.